Finally, I get to make my own Mediterranean America. I get to finally unite European countries with US states. Well, for some of these places, they won't be European. Libyan Texas right here. I mean, I feel like there's a little bit of climate similarities between Texas and Libya. Gonna make that green though to show that this is a Islamic Texas. I mean, why not? Next, I want to create my own Roman Nebraska. Now, the Romans were typically associated with red, and meanwhile, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, they are also pretty red. I want to try to extend, okay, that's not going to be thick enough. I want to try to extend and make sure I do get actual Rome, but I also wanted to make sure that we got the state. Now, I'm pretty sure this is about Nebraska, right? Maybe up here a little bit more. We're for sure getting some Nebraska territory. Maybe this is a Rome that actually decides to colonize, well, what they would see as like the coastline of Croatia, but that would be more of Nebraska and maybe South Dakota. It's actually very hard to determine where the US states are on this map. Okay, they're gonna have like a weird little enclave. It's like a ringworm. If you couldn't tell by now, I'm actually just trying to like create a bunch of new nations before we do anything too crazy. For instance, we have Morocco, Cali. I want to veer away from like some historical European precedent. I want to make sure that this California is more I want it to be Morocco, don't get me wrong. Ooh, we have a lot of drawing strength here. It looks like they're probably flatlanders, so they really like this flat white land. I like that there's a bit more geography for us to work with. So they have like an enclave here. I'll give them some of this, but let's say there's like this mountain range keeps like a wall going on. Shall we give them the inland part of California up to Fresno? Oh, I'm liking this nation. Where's the bay at? That's probably pretty good. Again, this kind of reflects more of a California, if anything, not or more so than a Morocco. Next up, I want the Panhandle of Sicily because this is, well, it's very close to the Oklahoma Panhandle. I'm not sure if it is exactly. To be quite honest, Malta might be the Panhandle. It's so hard to figure out. I'm pretty sure Oklahoma, that's got to be about the Panhandle where Malta or maybe the southern part of Sicily is. This is really, really confusing to do. I ideally will give them the entire outskirts of the island first. Okay, I guess we can give them the whole thing. Now, this is definitely all of Oklahoma that's here on the map. The rest of Oklahoma is submerged underneath the Mediterranean Sea. Maybe I'll give them a couple more islands. And you know what? They're actually going to start to get up the Italian boot here. Maybe they get that part and they get this part, but they don't quite connect yet. Maybe is this Oklahoma? Possibly. No, that's looking pretty north. It's hard to say. Well, regardless, I'm going to kind of do something like this. My third and fourth nations look significantly better than the first two. I don't know what the hell I was doing with the first two. It took me a little bit to get into it. Now prepare yourself for the Ohio Ottomans. So we got Ohio right here. And we want this Ohio to stretch pretty far. They don't seem like they don't like the flatland too much, do they? Yeah, they're looking like they're, well, I don't know. Maybe they don't like any of this. This is going to be a long, snaky nation. So obviously this Ohio is going to be more Ottoman because they're stretching all the way to, well, what is to them? Well, Ohio, this is like the Black Sea to Ohio, right? The Great Lakes, something like that. This is getting so stupid. I got Roll Tide Egypt. I think you can imagine where I'm going with this one. Egypt is typically associated with yellow and Alabama is typically red. So I think I'll go in between those two colors. So this is definitely, well, we're going to get a little bit into the Florida Panhandle, but up here is like Montgomery kind of. I want them to for sure resemble Egypt while getting like the Nile. This is basically the Nile of America. And maybe I'll continue with their, like, they like the ocean, so that I'm going to give them some of this coastline. Love that some of the rivers made it over from Europe too. It's not just rivers from the US. Actually, it looks like most of the rivers are from the European area. I'll connect these here. That's a fun little weird nation. How about Hellenic Arkansas? I've never said those two words together like that before. Is this even Arkansas? This might be more, it's so hard to say. Here's oh, this is definitely not Arkansas. Well, it can still be Hellenic, whatever. I'm going to give them all of the island of Crete. We're going to give them kind of good coastal territory in what is, you know, European Greece. What's Greece without their islands in the Mediterranean? The Mediterranean America, I guess. So you can have all these. The blue actually works well because Arkansas is the headquarters, the first founding of Walmart. If Arkansas isn't on this map, which they might not be, I'm going to give them this coastline up here just to hope that some of this is Arkansas. It's got to be. Maybe I'll give them all this river here, just like nothing south of the river. Again, these are like the most cursed names. Israeli Georgia? What the frick? So Georgia would be right here, somewhere right here. And then I'm going to have them stretch straight across to what would be Israel/Palestine. We're just going to create like a solid block right there. Too bad there's not more geographical features for us to go off of. And then I'll slowly increase that. We're We're getting pretty close down to Florida. We're going to steal some land away even maybe. What can I create out of... This is getting close to Ethiopia. Ethiopian Miami. I don't even know if I spelled that right. What am I doing? Like seriously, what am I doing? So this is like, I mean, we're still pretty far north of where Ethiopia probably would be. This is like probably still Egypt. I should have called this like Ethiopian, or so, Sudanese Miami. Sudanese nuts. This is more Miami if anything, but whatever. Okay, this is actually expanding way beyond just Miami. I'm just going to solidly give them the whole peninsula. Oh, we're going to have some fighting up here. Oh, boy. So apparently there's a place in Washington called Bellingham. Bellingham, Brittany. For Brittany, France. You see kind of what I'm doing? I was trying to do some alliteration. I forgot that I also don't have to use all the paint. I could just give them this square. I didn't know what else to do because this is too far north for... I was like, Seattle, Spain sounds good, right? But this Spain's like clearly down here. This is more French territory. And because it's the corner, I was thinking of Brittany, France. So yeah, B. They're gonna solidly get this corner. This is a peninsula. This looks like Brittany, France in a way. Spanish Las Vegas, as if Las Vegas already wasn't Spanish, but now Vegas is probably under the ocean right now, if I'm being honest, but I still am gonna make it. I'm gonna make it kind of like Carthage with this purple. I chose purple because, I don't know, purple just seems like Las Vegas to me. We'll stretch it all the way very close to Cali. Yeah, we're gonna have them kind of a very sort of mercantile empire. We'll give them Ibiza or whatever Ibiza is. Maybe they stretch and get Barcelona even. We have to make sure Las Vegas conquers Reno, Nevada. Okay, that's an interesting one. I haven't begun to expand any of my nations yet. I just am enjoying creating new nations. How about a Corsican Colorado here? I think Colorado is probably maybe there. Denver would be somewhere in Sardinia, I think, if I'm lucky. I am actually not going to have them get this specific mountain just because why? Human beings, they find it hard to live in mountains. And then, of course, the nation, I did name it Corsican Colorado, my bad. So they have to have the island of Corsica, which is this right here, and I'll give them the full island. That would make more sense. They haven't colonized all of Sardinia just yet, and I will have them maybe just sprinkle in a couple of extra settlements down here, and maybe even on the Italian peninsula, or what is the equivalent of that, maybe up this way too. Just give it some more personality. I like the personality. Corsican Colorado. German Montana sounds funny. There's probably already a lot of... Wait, this is not going to be very big. Small split? How is that even possible? That's literally... How is that possible? Oh, are we at like a new age? I'm not even going to do that. Can I choose to skip this? What did I call them? Montana... I need to switch up the naming. Montana of Germany. How about that? But I do want this yellow. This is starting to stretch, like, just beyond here is the Alps. The Alps are probably, like, here, which there's no Alps in this universe. We just have the Pacific, you know, the normal states, Idaho. This is what it looks like. It's very rocky. You would think that a Montana would be quite large, as the state is. Very, very rural. Maybe I'll wrap around some of these mountains here. There's still so much I need to do. You've heard of Northern Cyprus. Now get ready for Northern Cyprus with Carolina. Northern Carolina. Bro, I don't know. So here's Cyprus. Here's Georgia. Oh, they're going to get a little bit of South Carolina too, I think. But here is more than likely North Carolina is somewhere right there. We need to make sure they get this coastline. I need to start using some of their more like their names. For instance, North Carolina is the Tar Heels. But they are going to stretch a little bit into South Carolina. I'm giving them Constantinople, and we are calling these the Cheesehead Byzantines. Again, I'm trying to use more mascots. That's right, Cheesehead Byzantines. Chat, I'm so cooked. So this is the state of Wisconsin. Here is the de facto Constantinople. Cheeseheads refers to Green Bay, Wisconsin. We should probably connect these two. There we go. Why does that look like a little dude that's walking? Does anyone else see that? Here's the head, the body, and here's a foot. Okay, so these Byzantium Wisconsins, they worship this guy. Maybe they made it. Maybe they're trying to, like, it's like a sign. Too bad Georgia is not closer to the nation of Georgia. We could have made Georgia, Georgia. Get ready for Yankee Stan. Yankee Stan is obviously the Northeast, refers to the Northeast, but also we're getting pretty close to what would be Central Asia over here. You need to be careful. This is very similar to that Ottoman green. But these are Central Asian nations coming together to form the Yanks. I'm going to make these people extremely coastal. I will have them stretch all the way down to Long Island and get New York City. Maybe even Delaware, why not? I do want to expand Yankee Stan a little bit. I just like that name. I'm proud of that one. I know I could be more original, but no. How about Rochester, Russia? I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't even know where Rochester is. I just know it's in New York, and it's spelled very funny compared to the way it sounds. Okay, that's what I thought. It is in upstate, so we need to make sure it gets a lot of upstate. Now, I don't even know if this would technically be Russia. Historically speaking, you know, Russia had a lot of Central Asia, and like I just said, Central Asia would be somewhere over here on this map. We're going to connect the valleys here, if I can make it. Be stretching all the way down this way. I want them to get even more of Russia. Off of the Sahara Desert and the Saints, we have the Saharan Saints, referring to the New Orleans Saints here. This is pretty much the Sahara Desert. We're going to give them, obviously, New Orleans. And then I want them to really stretch into the Sahara too, just to make sure. There's probably so many comments with you guys that are probably with way better names, way more creative. I probably should have asked ChatGPT, to be honest. Okay, that's certainly the Sahara Saints. Not one of my more original ones, but I'm actually going to call this New Tunis. The old name for Tunisia, Tunis. I wanted to do that because it's new. It's like a throwback, Tunis. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. And we're talking about New Mexico. That's why I threw new in there. So I'm going to give them these rivers. Maybe this is certainly more of a river nation. We're actually going to get out of Tunisia. So here's Algeria. We could do something with Algeria next. I'm going to give them more coast. I'm actually going to steal some of this territory away. Too bad countries don't have more mascots. I know that like countries have national animals and things like that. I realize we're probably not going to be much in Albuquerque, but Albuquerque, Algeria was too good for me to pass up. Where would Albuquerque be? Here's California, here's Arizona. It'd probably be like yeah, I think this works. I think these guys are going to be especially sprinkled all over the place. I don't want them to be all connecting. It's funny because Albuquerque is in the desert. Algeria is mostly desert. Yeah, this looks like an STD, but it's going to get the job done. Venetian Dakota, I don't know, man. I didn't have anything. Venetian South Dakota. So here's the island of Venice and where the Venetian Empire at certain points kind of got to. We got to give them islands, but we also have to make sure we get South Dakota. They can get south or north, whatever they want. I'll give them some of this up here. Now, the Venetians back in the day, during the medieval times and stuff like that, they were scattered. They had a bunch of random little islands. So I don't mind giving them like small pockets of North Dakota and things like that. In DC, this is so dumb. Nation of Syria and this capital, DC, bringing them all together. So much missed opportunities probably with some of these namings. I'm sure there's some good alliteration that I could have been doing. I'll have them share this peninsula as it is in the States. We have like half Delaware, half Maryland, Virginia. All right, let's expand some of these. I'm really liking all the colors. Honestly, the first thing I want to fix... okay. The first thing I want to fix is Rome. Now, Rome has been getting their peninsula colonized quite a bit, as you can see. I want them to dip down here towards the river. I think this version of Rome is willing to share a bit of land. For now. Rome and Nebraska, it's okay. I also like the white and red because Nebraska's colors in college are white and red, so I don't mind leaving the massive pockets here. Let's get Syrian DC very close to the Rochester Russians and maybe even the Ohio Ottomans. I'm going to extend them all the way through the Anatolia Peninsula. They are loving this. Wow. It is DC after all. It should be big. I really wanted to work on my Yankee stand. I just love it so much. That's the name I'm most proud of. I don't know why the colors don't change. It's confusing the crap out of me at the top of the screen that the colors isn't different. Shall we give them a bit of rocky land? Yes. It does appear that they like the rocky stuff. I mean, I'll keep them up there if they really like it this much. Give them some river. Maybe they cut some stuff away from the Russians. Ooh, that's looking good up here, Stan. Yankee Stan, New York Stan. Let's fix my other massive mistake that I made. It's not that. Libyan Texas is such a boring name for everything else that I came up with. Oh, let's change this to the Libyan Longhorns. Bam, there we go. Okay, that's cool. I mean, I think it's cool. I don't know. All right, so the Libyan Longhorns, they need to get the Texas Triangle, obviously, and they need to get Austin, Texas, which I don't really know where that is. I'm going to have them, I'm thinking this is Houston. I'm going to have them actually cut up the Saharan Saints. The Texas Triangle probably does something like this. Yes, I think that's about it. I'm going to thicken up this over here to make sure everyone knows that is their land. Maybe I'll give them more outside of the river too. Again, the Texas desert, this is all Texas desert. Well, especially West Texas is a bunch of desert, so the Libyans are going to be used to this. I'll give them more of this. You can see that Texas triangle from the satellite view, and you can also see a lot of Libya. I mean, a lot of Libya's population, of course, is going to be in North Africa. Oh, that's right. I did want to fix the Ottomans here. I did want to make them a lot more Ottoman-y, so let's give them all of the coastline and a lot of like some of the uncolonized islands. I don't want to take all away from Greece, or they're the Hellenic something or other, Arkansas, so stupid. I'll thicken out some of these coastlines now. I'm going to go again with the Ottomans because I want them to be, I mean, they got to be the Ottomans. They got to be a force here. I'll give them actually this river, and I might steal some stuff away. All right, that's looking a little bit more Ottoman-like. Okay, I just think that the cheesehead Byzantines look stupid. I mean, they have a stupid name, so it goes hand in hand. I mean, I've always said Wisconsin is the rightful owner of the Ups. Sorry, Michigan. I need to be careful what I say because I didn't even give Michigan a nation. I'm going to keep going because that's just not enough. Let's at least thicken them out here towards the flatland. What do I call this? Because this, where Michigan is located, that's where the Black Sea is. There's nothing here. I could have called this like the Crimean, maybe the Upper Peninsula would be Crimea. There's got to be a city in Michigan that starts with a B, the Black something. I got to fix my Montana of Germany, which is just going to be a force of a nation here. Just a fat force. Can I fix this like STD nation that Albuquerque, Algeria? We got to do better than that. Oh, never mind, we got a new nation. How about the Minnesota Vikings? The reason I did that is because of the football name, but also there's a lot of Nordic population in Minnesota. I'm going to have them kind of just exist around this river. Maybe they get to this little peninsula. Maybe they get even more because it is Minnesota. Maybe they meet here with the Byzantines. I didn't mean to give it that color. Yeah, so like a light pink. I also did not mean to misspell that. Whoops. I was going to call this Black Detroit, but that could lead to other ideas. Detroit C, maybe? I mean, damn, I don't know. I guess I'll give it a blue, as Detroit tends to be blue. But again, like I said, this is just the Black Sea north of the Ottomans. So I don't really know what you want. This is like an invisible nation. Okay, that's all Michigan right there, just blue. It looks like they're getting taken over by coastline. Let me fix my Rochester Russians. Maybe close down. Oh, they don't like rough terrain. Also, my Syrian DC should probably get a bit more. We at least got to connect some of this stuff. A little bit blobbier. I'll always go back to my Ottomans. Oh, okay, we have new nation. I'm running out of real estate here. There's apparently a Portuguese city called Oporto, and that's going to be perfect for our Oregon. Also, both places tend to be green. I don't know where Oporto is. I mean, I know where Oregon is. It's a lot on the coast. I don't know how square we're going to be able to make this. Obviously, the state is very square. I would like to expand my Moroccan California. Oh, how does this... I swear, small split still ends up in my games, even though I literally remove it. Well, this is actually going to feel very natural. This is going to be a Moroccan SoCal. They're just going to get a slightly darker yellow. There's a very natural geographical divide between the two, so that's cool. So there's Moroccan Cali and then Moroccan SoCal. We're not going to be able to expand anymore because I have another new nation I've got to build. What else is even left? Bro, I don't know. Serbian Iowa? Whatever. We're getting to Serbia, Iowa. Iowa's like, where is Iowa? They got to take some Greek stuff. I mean, you want it to be a little Arkansas and a... Oh, sorry, not Arkansas. You want to be a little bit Iowa and a little bit Serbian. Something like that. The Panhandle of Sicily, I don't really know how else I can expand them. They're going to get a large expand, though. I did say that I did want them to take everything. I thought that there's like a general agreement they'll take south of that river, and then the Panhandle will go this way. Maybe they take some stuff away from Greece. This is not looking very much like a don't they need a panhandle? But where? I kind of ruined it already. What if their panhandle was actually north and south, and it just did something like this? I mean, a panhandle can be anything. There's the panhandle. That looks horrific. Can I expand my Roman Nebraska a bit more? Yes, I can. Again, I'm going to go ahead and leave kind of a laissez-faire with a lot of these nations that are around my time peninsula because I kind of need them to... I mean, I don't want to ruin them. I don't know what else those guys are going to do otherwise. But we do obviously want a Nebraska that's really big. I guess I should come up with more city-states. What, like a Reno, Granada thing? Where's... Granada is going to be like... Where's Reno? God, I don't even know. I'm running out of things. Reno, Nevada is probably somewhere in here, and it's hard to find Granada without the Iberian Peninsula. It's something in there. This looks like post-apocalyptic. Oh, small split was at 1, my bad. Okay, finally my Ottomans look a bit more Ottoman-like. Northern Cyprus, they have Cyprus. We should give them more northern land. I kind of want my Ethiopian Miami to get more here. I don't want them to take away too much from Alabama, but I want them to get all of this. Oh, that's right. Maybe more for the Saharan Saints. I mean, they are called the Saharan Saints for a reason, so they should probably get more Saharan desert territory. Maybe all this down here, as far next to New Tunis. Yeah, they should be a pretty thick empire, to be honest. I mean, it's the desert. They should be thick. My Libyan Longhorns, I will extend them more of this coastline. Oh, they're actually going to war a bit with Sicily here because they got that little pixel. I'll give them a little... Oh, maybe I won't. Oh yeah, I need to fix this. Albuquerque, Algeria, you look terrible. We don't have to do too much. We just have to connect it all at least. I did like the Moroccan SoCal nation, which I was kind of forced to do. I will take this. Maybe we will actually connect them and take all of SoCal away, or sorry, Northern California away. And while I'm at it, I will do something with Morocco Cali, which is the original. This is where the capital is. So it does make sense that they didn't split away too much. Maybe we'll go inland more. As for Germany, bro, I don't even know, bro. I mean, you do need to do some more interesting things. It looks, oh, that looks so bad. Can we do something? I wish there was a river for us to follow. I guess we can expand them out like this. Okay, that's looking a bit more natural, I guess. Cheesehead Byzantium. When I reread some of these names that I came up with, I'm just like, wow. Yeah, we'll have them finally get all of the up. There's definitely a bit of fighting going on for sure between some of these nations. Here you go, Michigan. Oh, what am I going to do with you? Oh, I can actually end it. Okay, yeah, you're done, Michigan. You're set. My Russians need to get a bit more land. Favorite nation? Yep, it's Yankee Stan. I really like my Yankee Stan. It makes sense to leave these little pockets. It looks actually more natural to leave these, even though they're like plain open lands. It's like, why would anyone be that deep in there? I kind of like that there's like these random white, and this is actually how U.S. population density looks like. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Pretty cool, colorful map. I like what we did here. And a big thanks to my patrons this month. Drew's abandoned son from Alabama. Petition for Drew to make Hoi 4 ASMR Tingles version 2. Nolan. Alexander the Terrible. Nord Tyrol. Miglu the Goat. King Bear Hayes. Connor Pavlik. Frederick Tiblin. Carmel. Drew's Argentinian Trust Fund. Rip Grandpa. Douche Baggins. Luxembourg Lover. And Tambrin.